Today we're going to be removing all these recessed can lights from the downstairs here, and more importantly, all this flaky wiring that goes along with them. So we have, I'll just give you a quick idea of what's going on here. We have this box here. There is another box. How much slack does this have? There's another box right there, and then there is another box here, which hosts the connection for this light, and I think nothing more than the connection. I don't believe that there's anything to do with those other wires. And then we have this here, which is just a junction, I guess, and then this one. So, which, let's see, is this working or not? Okay, so this one's actually on a separate circuit. I thought, oh, that explains why, because this, it looks like this is just being used as a junction and there's no interface with the original BX wiring, I think. But I believe this box, the box over here, the box by the stairs, and then the two on the other side would all be original. And then it's just been haphazardly adapted for use with these lights. So we're going to take all this out and redo it. I'm going to put different lighting here in the stairwell, different lighting in the other room, and then if I can get these recessed cans out and I kind of end up liking them, I might reuse them to go around the studio room, which might look nice on the displays. And I've been meaning to get rid of this this ceiling, or what's left of it, for ever since I moved in. It's kind of an eyesore, so we'll do that as well as we go along. So over here, this is probably the worst of it. We have, let's move the light to the other side of the camera. We have the box itself, plus we have this, which runs over there, and then it goes to an outlet that hangs on the wall, which is going to get canceled out. And then this outlet is switched, or this box is switched. It's switched with a two-way, which has a switch down here at the bottom of the stairs and a second part of it at the top of the stairs. So we're going to get back to that two-way. That's going to come up again in a minute, because we're going to move that two-way switch to a place that's more logical. So let's go ahead and undo this. In theory, the electricity should be off. Wow, that's a really crummy connection. Okay, the power does appear to be off, and both of those are very, very poorly done connections, which is not of any surprise. Alright, so I have a plug here, which I'm just going to wire onto this as a temporary use case until I can get, until I decide what I'm going to do with the lighting over here. In fact, this box might need to be resecured. It's kind of a little bit loose. Alright, so take that off, and then undo the remnants of this, which is not much. Yeah, real good connection. Oh man. Talk about shoddy work. Look at that. One of these pieces is all like mangled, the other one's perfectly straight. This is a newer wire. You can tell how thin it is. This is the original wire. Actually, is that newer? No, that's the old wire. That's interesting. This is very thin. Probably because it's pure copper. It's a good quality material as opposed to the cheesy clad stuff that they make today. Usually the older wire is a little bit thicker. That's how it is in the rest of the house. That's kind of weird that that's like that. Anyways, let's keep going here. Wow, it just came right apart with these. Alright, so we're gonna keep that around. This can come out now. I have to disconnect the ground first. Which is just kind of haphazardly wrapped around this screw, which this is okay, but it's not ideal. And this is severely in the way, but I can't really get rid of this until I detach the light, which I just did. To make things easier. Okay, the light's detached, and again, we're going to keep that, and I'm going to physically install them in the studio, make sure I like the appearance of it, and then we'll go ahead and use them in the studio for actual lighting. That'll be at a later date. Okay, so that's that, and now we have to get this part out, which it looks like it's just not even bonded at all. So that's real nice. Yep, it's just not bonded at all. Ow. Oh no, it's kind of bonded. The ground is wrapped around the outside of the BX shield over here. So that, I'm just going to take that out. When I clean up the other side of the area there, I will go around and remove that outlet and the whole run. But for now, it can just sit there. It's not going to cause any trouble. It's not live. Okay, that's that. And this, I'll just cut the end off of it and leave that there. Again, this just goes to an outlet. There's nothing feeding through it, so that's fine. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to stick this this plug in here just so that I can plug a lamp up or whatever, something into this and have a light to use on the stairwell, because otherwise it's going to be very dark over here. And I don't know when I'm going to get around to this, finishing this. It will be soon, you know, hopefully within a few weeks, but it's definitely not going to be like tomorrow or tonight. So we need to have something that's a viable option for now. This whole thing is all loose and whatever. I guess I probably should just replace the whole box at this point because it's already fallen down. And okay, so stick this in here. I went out and I bought covers for these boxes, and then I discovered that there's no screws. So can't cover them up in this video because I don't have the parts. Okay, that needs to get tightened. Okay, so that's that. And this is not going to be bonded, but there's nothing grounded going into this plug. It's just going to be a lamp. So, see the high sides on the left. Okay, so we're just gonna stick this up in here, and it would be nice to put a cover on it, but I don't have the screws, so uncovered it is. And now I have a plug. Just plug in a lamp. I guess I should probably put a Moret over this so it doesn't touch anything. Okay. So now this area looks much better. That wire goes away, that wire goes away, and just be nice clean. Ceiling, I clean the cobwebs up too, but much better. And I'll get all that insulation off the pipe so that will look fine, and then I'll get this piece off of there, clean up behind there, and it'll look pretty good. Okay, let's move on to the next problem. Let's take a look at this switch. So I'm kind of curious to see how this is all laid out, and this switch should answer multiple questions because this will tell us how this gets power. Does it get power from here, or does it get power from one of those other two boxes on the ceiling? I have a hunch that it gets power from one of the boxes on the ceiling. That's going to be my guess. But I'll be able to remove all doubt in just a moment. It would be nice if it gets power from here, because then I could take this and use this as power for the stairway lights and the hallway ceiling fans, but I don't think that it's going to be. Okay, that's not at all what I was expecting. So it is just, it's two wires that come down here, and these wires are, I think that they're 14-2. Can't tell because they're all twisted and screwed up, but it's it looks like 14-2 to me. And we have two high sides with a nice 20 amp switch. We'll keep that switch for something else. And just a combined common. So this is only breaking these two, the high side of these two wires apart. So that's okay. That's just not in the slightest of what I expected. Okay, so I have no idea how this is set up, and I don't really care. We're just going to take the whole thing out. That's why I ended up just shutting it off, because I have no idea how this is set up. So I don't have to be careful if it's off. I was more interested in how it worked if I was going to do it while it's on. Let me just move a couple of these shelves out of the way. This rolling shelf method is really phenomenal. Highly recommend it. So we only have one wire here, and in fact, to make things easier again, I'm just going to go ahead and snip off this light. Do want to keep these in good shape because they might be reused. And now let's see if we can get this mess out of here. Unfortunately, this bar is in the way, but I think that will just remove it. Because reality be it, I'm never going to have a drop ceiling down here again. And if I did, it would be brown, not white. Alright, so there it looks like there's just a total mess in here. We have a bunch of commons. I'm going to guess that this is where the high side comes in. I don't know how all these wires work. I suspect the original design was all these were just live, and they were probably on, they had like little porcelain pole chain fixtures or something on them when they were, when the house was built. Oh yeah, it's already falling apart. Gosh, that's awful. This is how you get electrical fires and overheats, when you have loose connections like that. Because it heats up and it's just not good. So this wire is coming from the BX to the right, which we're going to keep for now. And this is actually somewhat joined, but not very well. Yeah, not very well at all. This is the BX to the right. And then this looks like the BX to the left is just, this isn't even screwed on. Gosh, this is terrible. I wish I had done this sooner. I would have done this before I even put anything down here if I knew it was like this. Or actually, you know what? On second thought, just unscrew this because it's coming out anyways. Okay, so that's out of the picture now. So let's see what we got left. We have a ground wire, which is, I'm going to unscrew that and take that off. This is 14.2, like I suspected it was. So now that's all taped up like that. What text with that? Why has that got tape below? You know what I bet happened there? Someone didn't put the insulating ground down there and probably cut the wire. So now I wonder if that's scary. I wonder if this wasn't doing anything at all. So so that can't be the feed because nothing was connected to it. So this is live, and this I would assume is live as well, but it just wasn't serving any purpose. So that's kind of interesting. If it's coming live from both sides, then I don't know. See, this is one of those things where this probably made sense when the house was built, but then the use case was modified. Now it really just doesn't make any sense at all. Yeah, we're going to have to revisit this one and figure out why there's tape on that wire. Oh, actually, we're going to have to revisit them all because there's no covers. Okay, so that's disconnected from there. So this wire, hopefully you can see this, this goes back to the switch. That will just come out. That no longer does anything as far as I can tell. In fact, I think I'll just try to grab that out right now. Okay, now we will move over to the studio room and see what we got brewing in there after I put these shelves back. And we no longer need the drop light because there's plenty of lighting over here. Alright, so here's where things get real messy. So we've got, here's the covers I bought, which I cannot attach because I have no screws. So now we have this wire, which I believe is what runs to the switch, and then oh, you know what? Okay, so this is, I think I'm kind of understanding this now. That the wires that go this way probably come from the panel, so I suspect this is where it starts. And then it goes that way. So this upper wire here likely just goes from here to there. And we can probably actually leave that disconnected for now because we're not going to be using it in the immediate future. And then I think that this whole mess here is just to connect that one light. That is what it appears like to me. So let's go ahead and get rid of that. It's just a junk plastic box. I'm not going to reuse that for anything. So this whole thing can just get canceled out. This can come down, or it's kind of, I must have hammered it in there, but that's fine. I'll deal with that later. This is screwed in, so I'll have to deal with that later as well. Okay. So what do we have dwelling in this box? Come on, tripod. So we have quite a few connections in this one. We have 3 wires dwelling. Those aren't connected at all. So this goes back to there. So this is the input, which is this wire. And if this wire goes back to the switch, which it does, then this was our feed. So if we disconnect this wire, that should take all the electricity out of this cocketing setup here. Again, barely connected. Alright, so that's that wire. This so then it looks like all the hots, all the high sides are bonded with this wire, which grab the high side over there. What? Wow, you know what I think happened? I think that this, the BX connection here, which is barely done, was actually extraneous, because this yeah, this should have gotten powered by that switch, because 2 wires went over there. Unless, you know what? I don't know. This seems like it's 10 times more complicated than it should have been. But I'm not surprised at all. I think we're just going to cancel out and never speak of it again, because it's not worth the brain cells. It's probably wrong, and it's soon going to be relevant. Alright, that should free up all this stuff here. I suppose some of these longer runs of this wire might still be good, so I don't want to damage it too much, but I am just going to cut it right here at the end, because I would redo these connections anyways if I was going to reuse the wire. Real secure. Hello? I just talked to you like a half an hour ago, and I told you I'm getting sick and tired of these calls. Stop calling here. I don't want your stupid piece of junk solar panels. Shut up! That guy sounded like he was having a digital stroke. What the heck was wrong with that call? Oh, can I ever use these screws to put the covers on? I can. Okay, we'll do that. Alright, so now that's gone. So this becomes confusing to me. I think what we're going to do is we're going to turn this back on and we're going to go through with the connectivity meter and we're going to see where the connectivity resides and what does or does not work. Because I feel like this circuit might need to just be all connected together for this to work properly, because that's probably the way that it was originally. That would be my guess. So I'm just going to leave this here like this. I'm going to turn it back on and we're going to go through with our connectivity meter and we're going to check out what's going on here. Hopefully solve some mysteries. And that's not working. I don't know why that's not working. Maybe the Moret is spoiled. Yep, the Moret was spoiled. Alright, let's go switch it on and see what happens. I just turned the power back on. The lights on the other side of the room have not been affected. They are operating normally, which is that light over there and then this light here, which are both switched by nothing other than the strings on the porcelain fixtures themselves. So let's see, let's check my outlet here. Let's see if my outlet is correct. Is my meter broken or is my outlet broken? Well, I think it's a bit of both. What kind of battery does this take? Oh, it just takes an two AAA batteries from West Power. Let's go ahead and get some new batteries in this thing. And then most likely the outlet was not working because maybe the switch is off, or this just wasn't working because the batteries were messed up, or just out of charge rather. Let's put some of these older batteries in there. Should be good enough. Alright, let's see. This is working now. It's going to be a no. Yep, that's going to be a no. I guess I should really just discard those batteries at this point because they don't work that good anymore. These are some new ones I got recently. We'll go ahead and use these. Okay, now it's working. So let's go see what the results of my outlet are. Okay, there's nothing on either end of the outlet, so let's turn this on and see if we get power to the outlet. Yep. That's kind of weird. It's coming out both sides. It's not coming out both sides there, so it must just be too sensitive. Alright, so we can plug in my Christmas lights now. And we should, in theory, just end up with some lights that work. If I can get the plug into the plug-in. There we go. Okay, so the outlet works. The Christmas lights again. And that's fine for now. Okay, so let's see what the results are. We should have nothing on this switch. Huh, okay, so there's something that I don't quite understand. Because I thought that both of these wires were disconnected. Okay, so that's not cool. That's still hot. So let's go ahead and shut that off and put some caps on the end of it. Well, I really have absolutely no idea how this is set up at this point. Actually, you don't need to necessarily put any caps on it, just for a test. Just spread the wires apart so we don't get a short out. That's really confusing to me. There. Okay, so now let's see. I guess I'll just cap off the high side because I'm going to be walking by here. So with all this disconnected, it's still somehow getting power. Where the heck is the power coming from? I mean, regardless of the power of those BX cables, where is the power coming from? Did I not trace this correctly? This is the wire that was there. Right, and this, it goes up to there. Right. And then, if I'm not mistaken, that's this wire. Alright, which comes over to here, and then it goes in there with, there's another wire going across, but that's a 14.3. So then we come over here, and we see the 14.3, and we see the 14.2, which is this one, and then we see this other 14.2, which is disconnected. So why then? That's really kind of confused here. Yeah, I only see one wire. I don't see, and that's like literally inconceivable that this would still be live at this point. What am I missing? I mean, short of just yanking the wire out of place, I don't know. What is this, a magic circuit? This totally should not have any electricity on it. I have to take a few minutes to see if I can figure this out myself. I'm getting really confused. I have traced the whole thing in its entirety multiple times, and I cannot possibly fathom where any more power is entering into the circuit. So let's see how many volts is really there, because sometimes this thing's just, I don't know, this thing might be capping. It's a little bit sensitive, I think. 0.1 volts. 0.1. So, as I suspected, this thing's capping. And this has got to just be bleed over from somewhere else. Because even the ground is saying has voltage, but that's not true. So, alright. I was correct. There's no power here. I'm not losing my mind. This thing is just being cuckoo. Alright, so we're pretty much done here as far as that's concerned. Well, actually, the whole reason I got this out, I did not do. No power. Power. So this is just a carryover to the second box, and the power starts here. No power, power. So this is a good usable junction for something. Maybe the lights in here. And now let's see what we've got over here. And nothing from there. And is our taped up wire live? Nope. There's no power anywhere. So that's interesting. So like I thought, that did break the circuit. Now the question is, where does this go? Because that means something else. Well, no, something else is not working because of this change. Something else was not working prior because this has always been just taped up like that. So this actually, see, this sometimes gets like a static electricity in it, which is not good, especially this time of year. So there's nothing here. Nothing on either one of these wires. So this box is just, it was just being used as a junction point, I guess. And these are all not doing anything, so I'm not concerned about that anymore. So what we'll do is, we'll just cover this one up because it does have, this is inactive. I'll leave that wire because it's fine. I'll use it for something else someday maybe. This is live, so we're gonna stick that up in there, and we'll cover this up, and that will kind of solve that mystery. Just another point of curiosity I discovered. This is all 12 gauge wire that was used, which I cannot fathom why. You know, just running a bunch of lights, 4 or 5 lights. Certainly don't need 12 gauge. I guess 12 gauge must have been on sale, or it was a leftover for whoever did this crummy work down here, did it for real cheap or whatever, and the box is the wrong size. Well, I guess it's better than no box, but it's definitely not right either. Well, I'll fix that eventually. Cover's the wrong size, but oh well, better than it was. Okay, so now all that's left to do is I'm going to take the rest of these lights down. I'm going to pull this wire out. I'm actually going to have to, this is going to be a little tricky because I got to unstaple everything from here, which might take some effort to get into certain spots. But I'll do that, and then I'll come back on the video to show the cleaned up product. Alright, here's a look at the final product. Unfortunately now we have holes all in the ceiling, but that's just whatever it is. It looks so much better than it did before, not having those yellow wires running across all crooked and mangled. This is much better. So this is one step closer now to setting up the ceiling fan testing rig over here. The only thing now I need to do before that is take stuff like this out of the beams, and then otherwise it'll be all set. So this is good over here. This looks a lot better over here. Got to finish taking down the rest of this frame. This looks much better over here and will continue to look better as I finish cleaning this up. And then there is still some of that wire up there. I cut down here to get that piece out. I took the piece out from here, but there's still some left back there. It's stapled up against the wall. I can't reach it too good. I saved a few of the pieces because it turned out to be 12-2, not 14-2. So I kept a few pieces that were good. 20 amp switch. Seems to be in good shape still, so we can maybe use that for something else. And then here's the 4 fixtures. And I have a 5th fixture, which is over here. This is part of a separate circuit. I'll get to that later. That's easy to take down. It's simple. Wiring makes sense at least. So, and this was there too, but it's like you can't really reuse it because it's just plastic cheesy junk. So, there we go with that. In the next video about electricity, most likely I will be testing these fixtures in here. I'm not going to wire them up just yet. I'll just stick them up on the ceiling, make sure I like it cosmetically, and then if I do like it cosmetically, we'll go ahead and wire it in.